So, dear student, today we are going to start study about the infertility. We know that there are a large number of the couples who are not able to produce the offsprings, who are the childless. So we have to understand what is this is due to the infertility. They are the childless, so this is due to the infertility. So what is the infertility? Infertility is the inability of couples to produce offspring even after 2 years of unprotected sexual cohabitation. So this is called the infertility. So what is the now question arises? What is the reason of infertility? Reasons. What are the reasons of infertility? What are the reasons of infertility? There are the so many reasons. So reasons may be one is the physical. Reasons may be physical. Psychological. Maybe due to some drugs, and maybe diseases. This may be due to their diseases, and maybe immunological. And some regions may be congenital. So these may be regions of the infertility. Maybe some main thing is physical regions. Some physical regions may be there in that condition. Maybe males may not be able to inseminate, or some other reasons may be there. Later we will be discussing more detail. Some psychological may be there. Some drugs, those who are taking drugs, they may cause some diseases, and some diseases mainly due to some diseases that include the STD also, that may cause the infertility. And immunological reasons may also be responsible for the infertility, and congenital. Some congenital regions may also causes the infertility. So this infertility may be due to the defect in the male, or some defects maybe in the female, or some defects or some problems in both male and the female. But in India, generally females are blamed for the infertility. But the infertility may be due to some reasons, some defects in the male, or some defects maybe in the female, or sometimes in defects may be found in the both. So without clinical tests, no one should be blamed. So some reasons and which may be responsible for the infertility in the male or in the female, we are discussing here. So reasons maybe what we are studying the regions maybe in the male as well as in the female. In males, what regions may be there? We study about male infertility. Male male infertility. So this is the infertility, as I told you, maybe either in the male or in the female or in the both. So what maybe after male infertility? One reason is male infertility, reduced sperm count. One reason may be in male, reduced sperm count. One reason may be there if the number of sperm is less, then that may cause a infertility, and there must be if 15 to 20 million per ml. And reduced sperm. Suppose sperms are number of sperm is the it means the sperm count is normal, but the low count of the motile sperm is motile sperm is necessary. So absence or extremely. Second may be absence or extremely low count of motile sperm. Motile sperms. If number of sperm is normal, but the number of motile sperm is extremely low, or number of motile sperm is nil, that may also cause. Sometimes this may be absence of penis. For some time it is absence, or sometime penis is not erectile. So that may be so no insemination and no and in this way he is not able to produce the offspring, and sometimes testis is absent to descend in the spocal sites. So sometimes when the failure of descending sperm, testis, flora descending testis in scrotal sac. Scrotal sac. Sometimes if testis is not able to descend in the scrotum, then that may causes the infertility, because scrotal sac provide the suitable temperature for the maturation of the sperm. And sometimes STDs may also causes the infertility in the male. So sometimes some psychological reasons may also be responsible for the male estradiol. In them, the important thing is their reduced sperm count and the extremely low count of the motile sperm. These are the two main reasons, but other reasons may also be there. But two reasons are the first and second, two main reasons of the male estradiol. Now we have to study next one, the female estradiol, female infertility. So first after male, next one is the female infertility. Female infertility. We can read more. So female infertility. This female infertility may be due to the damage or ligated fallopian tube, non-functional or absence of ovary, or non-functional or absence of uterus, or adhesion of labia or the imperforated hymen. And next reason may be STDs. STDs may also causes the infertility in the female. So now, how it can be prevented? How infertility may be prevented, or how it will be treated? This is treatment. Now treatment. How it may be treated? So special hospitals are established for care of such defects, and by curing of such defects, parents are able to get the pregnancy and the offspring. In some cases where such cure is not possible, some other methods are also adopted, and these methods are called as the ART. ART, assisted reproductive technologies. Assisted reproductive technologies. So assisted reproductive technologies, ART. By these techniques, infertile couple can gain their offsprings. So mainly it is four types. One is test tube baby, one is the test tube baby. This is a very common method. And next one is the GIFT. GIFT. And third one is the ICSI. ICSI. And last one is the AI. Last one the A and the I. So test tube baby It is of two types, ZIFT and IUT. It is ZIFT and IUT. So these are the different techniques, different method, and by which a childless couple can gain the office grade. So we will discuss one by one. We will discuss one by one. Test tube, first one test tube baby. So you know about the test tube. Listen before about the test tube baby. By the test tube baby, office spring has the produced. This is a very common method. So first in detail we discuss first one the test tube baby. What happened? In the test tube baby, two things are there. One is the in vitro fertilization and the embryo transfer. In vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. Two techniques are there. In vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization means first culture media. This practice taken place outside the human body. This practice is done outside the body of the individual. So here what happens? First, culture media is taken, which contains the nutrients, and they having the aseptic condition. They have needed the aseptic conditions, and in this aseptic condition, ovum is taken from the mother. That mother may actual mother or maybe some donors. So taken by the mother, and the sperm is taken by the father. So both fertilization takes place in the culture media. So outside the body. And this fertilized egg, now fertilized egg is called as the zygote. This zygote is transferred into the uterus or into the fallopian tube. This is called as the test tube baby. What happens once again listen, what happens in case of a test tube baby? One, sperm is taken from the father or donor. Sperm taken from the father or the donor, and ovum is taken from the mother or donor. Mother may be there or donors may be there, and both sperm and ovum both are taken and fused inside the lab, not inside the body of the female, but sperm is taken from the male and ovum is taken from the female, and they are collected into in a vessel or in a nutrient medium, and where the fertilization takes place. And this fertilized egg is first step. In vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization is the first step, and the second step, this fertilized egg or the fertilized zygote is transferred into the uterus or inside the fallopian tube of the female. You have you know the surrogate mother. You know the surrogate mother. Suppose one person who do not want one female who do not want to be mother. So what happens in that situation? Sperm is taken from the father, and the mother donate or mother gives the ovum, and both are fused together to form the zygote, and this zygote is transferred into the surrogate mother. That surrogate mother only nourishes the zygote, and this produces the offspring only, but genetic character is of the actual mother and the father. And for sometimes you know that when new couples are there, and they do not want to be mother and the father, and suppose one and their job is in the high risk, so they store the sperm in their sperm bank, and female also donate stored in the egg bank, and suppose mother dies, any mishappening may be there, then she can be mother of she can born a child of her husband. So this technique help in the such type of the production of the offsprings are. So first you test tube baby. First test tube baby. Name of first test tube baby. First test tube baby. You know the name? Louis Brown. Louis Brown in the England, and in India, and that was in July 1978. The first test tube baby was born. The name of that baby, Louis Brown, that was in the England, and that was born in the July 1978. And in India, the first test tube baby are the Kanupriya Agrawal. Kanupriya Agrawal. She was also born in the same year, but on the 3 October 1978. So in the first test tube baby was the Louis Brown, that was in England on the July 1978. July 1978, and July means 25th. On the 25th July 1978, and she was born in England. 25th July 1978, and here in India, that name was the Kanupriya Agrawal, that was born the 3rd October 1978. So we are studying about the test tube baby. So two steps are there in the test tube baby. First one is the in vitro fertilization, and after that embryo transfer. As I told you, in vitro fertilization, what happens? The sperm and the ovums are taken by the parents, and they are fused outside the body of the individuals, and then zygote is formed, and this zygote is transferred into the uterus or fallopian tube of the mother. The real mother may be, or the surrogate mother may be there. So it is of two types. On the basis of stage of embryo transfer, on the basis of embryo transfer and site of transfer. Site of on the basis of embryo transfer and the site of the site of transfer or site of embryo transfer. You can say site of embryo transfer and site of embryo transfer. Embryo transfer. On the basis of embryo transfer, on the basis of on the basis of stage of on the basis of on the basis of stage of on the basis of stage of embryo transfer and site of embryo transfer, it is of two types. It is of two types. So I told you that is the test tube whatever IVF, that is the that happen in vitro fertilization. IVF means in vitro fertilization. After in vitro fertilization, second step the embryo transfer. So on the basis of stage of embryo transfer and site of embryo transfer, it is of two types. Number one is ZIFT. ZIFT, zygote intrafallopian tube transfer. So means zygote intrafallopian tube transfer. One is the ZIFT, zygote intrafallopian tube transfer. In this case, what happens? The zygote is transferred into the fallopian tube when blastomere is up to 8 cell stage. When embryo oblique blastomere is up to 8 celled stage. When embryo or the blastomere is up to 8 celled stage, it is transferred into fallopian tube. So what happens there? In vitro fertilization, when egg is fertilized in the first step and the second step, when it becomes 8 cell stage, means up to 8 cell stage, it is transferred into the fallopian tube. It is called as the zygote intrafallopian tube transfer. This is called as the ZIFT, zygote intrafallopian transfer. The transfer of zygote into the fallopian tube is called as the ZIFT or the zygote intrafallopian tube transfer. This practice is applied when embryo or blastomere up to 8-celled stage. Now next technique is IUT. Next one is the IUT. Here intrauterine embryo transfer. In this situation, when embryo is transferred into the uterus, this practice is called the intrauterine embryo transfer. This practice is applied when blastomere is more than 8-cell stage, and best situation is when it becomes the 32-celled stage. Become the 32-cell stage. It is the best situation when this blastomere becomes the 32-cell stage. It is transferred into the uterus, and this practice is called the intrauterine transfer. It is also called as the when the zygote is transferred into the uterus. This practice is called the intrauterine embryo transfer. When blastomere become the more than 8-celled stage, then this practice is applied. For better result, blastomere, when blastomere become the 32-cell stage, it is transferred into the uterus of the female. So this is first method we have studied. First studied about the test tube baby. In this practice, in vitro fertilization followed by embryo transfer. First practice is fertilization takes place outside the body, and then fertilized egg or embryo is transferred into the uterus or into the fallopian tube. If this zygote is transferred into the it is transferred into the fallopian tube. This practice is called the ZIFT, and this practice is applied when the blastomere become the up to the 8-cell stage. And other practice is IUT, and in this practice zygote is transferred into the uterus, and this practice is applied when zygote or the blastomere having more than 8-celled stage. So next practice is after test tube baby. Next practice is there, and this practice. Next one is the what we are going to study. This is called as the GIFT. GIFT. Second one is GIFT. GIFT. Gamete intrafallopian transfer. Gamete intrafallopian transfer. Gamete intrafallopian transfer. Generally, this practice is applied when female is not able to produce the egg. When this practice is applied when female is not able to produce the ovum, or if able to produce the ovum but ovum is not able to reach into the fallopian tube due to the defective fimbriae etc. But able to conceive the pregnancy, she is able to conceive the pregnancy, she has the capacity for the implantation. So this practice is applied. So this practice is applied when female partner is not able to produce either the viable ovum or ovum cannot reach up to the fallopian tube for the fertilization. And male is normal. Then what happens? Ovum is taken from the donor. Ovum is taken from the donor and this ovum is transferred into the fallopian tube of the female partner. And then either by the natural method or by the artificial insemination method, this is better since male is the normal. So by the natural method, man copulates and they fertilize the egg and that causes the pregnancy. So this practice is applied when female is not able to produce the gametes, not able to produce the ovum, but he is able to conceive the pregnancy and ready for the implantation. And male is normal. Then ovum is taken from some others and this ovum is transferred into the fallopian tube, and when it is get introduced into the fallopian tube, after that fertilization takes place and that bring about the zygote and that produces the offspring. So next one is the GIFT and third that is ICSI. ICSI intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Generally, this practice is applied when both male and the female partners are not able to produce the gametes, are not able to perform the process of the fertilization. So here egg is taken by the donor and sperm is also taken by the donor. So this sperm is injected into the cytoplasm of the egg in the vitro, outside the body. Suppose this is the vessel and inside the vessel egg, this is the ovum is kept, and in the cytoplasm of the ovum sperm is injected, and after that this become converted into zygote, and this zygote is introduced into the fallopian tube or in the uterus of the female partners. So in this technique, you know that the intracytoplasmic sperm injection. In this practice, sperm is taken from the donor or the husband, and sperm and ovum maybe either the. So this practice, in this practice, what happens? For some time, female is able to give the ovum, but she is not able to implant. She is not fit for the implantation. And male, his sperms are liable. His sperm count is good, but he is not able to inseminate. So in this way, sperm is taken and the egg is taken, and they both are the fused together. Sperm is introduced into the ovum by the injection, or sperm is injected into the cytoplasm of the ovum, and when it is get fertilized, then it is implanted either into the fallopian tube or into the uterus. So this is ICSI, and fourth is the artificial insemination, AI, artificial insemination. Artificial insemination. Artificial insemination. In this practice, when male is not able to ejaculate, he cannot, his penis is not properly functioning, and in this so this practice is applied, and in this practice sperm is taken by the male partner and it is injected into the uterus or vagina of the female partner. So these practices are applied for those who have no pregnancy and who are the infertile and want to have the pregnancy. So there are some drawbacks are there. What are the drawbacks of these practices? What is drawbacks? One drawback is there. This practice is very costly. This practice is very costly, and it approach is only for a very few person of the society. It is very costly, so it is its approach is only up to a few. Only a few persons or only a very low persons of the society, and some legal issues or some other issues may be there, some legal issues and some social and some emotional